Alright guys, so I'm in Antowan's garage. We are gonna start the process of turning his bike into a track bike since he went down on the track, and we gotta fix like the whole left side basically. Except for the fairings, that'll be a different video.
Yeah, because I haven't bought those yet.
It's in the works.
And an update for y'all that didn't know, when I crashed and I thought my hand was broken, it was actually broken. And it's healed wrong because of the brake. And so I'm gonna have permanent pain in my left hand, which is fun. And I'm gonna figure out how much it affects me riding a motorcycle here once we get this back together. Or I'll buy my new bike, which is still undecided as of the moment.
All right, so I am gonna record Antowan. I'm gonna have him explain what all he needs to do to the bike and then show a little bit of that process. I don't know if there's anything that you really need to...
I mean, most of it's just fairly cosmetic damage. There's nothing, anything major. Just gotta swap out a couple of parts and then the bike is technically rideable at that point. As far as the stuff we're gonna repair today, I've got damaged heel guard, shift lever, the case cover on the left hand side, the stator cover, and a couple of my hoses have damage. So we're also gonna go ahead, we've tested these before. I swapped the velocity stacks out to test and see what the benefits were. We lost peak power, but gained a little bit of mid-range. It wasn't enough for me to keep them in there, so I took them out and was originally going to sell them. But since I've damaged the bike and I can actually make use of them now, since it's gonna be primarily a track bike, peak horsepower doesn't matter. So we're gonna use those for this bike, so I haven't wasted my money on them. And I've also included and installed the extra large ram air from MWR, since my OEM ram air was also damaged in the slide. A buddy of mine, Travis Yeager, does his own metal fabrication and weld work. So we're gonna have him, once I talk to him, he said he's got a mobile set up. So I'm gonna see if it's possible to get him to come out here to repair the frame. If not, then I'll be taking the bike once we get all this done to his shop, let him fix and straighten this so I'll be able to mount the new fairings on here. So this is probably the biggest headache that has to be fixed on the bike. So if you have a ZX-10, invest in frame slots, because this seems to be a problematic area anytime you go down, is this mounting point for the side fairing. Either gets broken off or in my case, pushed into the frame. All right, for the heel guards, it'll be pretty straightforward. I got two 3mm hex bolts I've got to change out just to swap the heel guard for this vent. The shift peg is replacing it. It'll be the peg and a bolt going into the back of it to hold it in place. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Y'all see that in the video. We'll probably drain whatever coolant might still be in here, just so we don't have a big mess when we take the hoses off. The radiator hoses and the piping will be straightforward. Just a flathead screwdriver to loosen the hose clamps. Take those off, slide the piping out. Replace the hose, tighten everything back up.
Whoa. So that splashed up over here.
Of course, refill the system to make sure we still don't have any leaks. Hopefully we don't, and replacing these couple of hoses and bent pipes will solve that problem. As far as the case cover, we're swapping the whole case cover out because the case saver that I had on there was completely ripped off of the engine case, so it did not serve its purpose, which is the first time I've encountered that with GB racing covers. So that was quite surprising. There is a magnet behind the cover that goes around your stator. once we get the 8mm or 10mm bolts out, I'm not sure right offhand, to take those off, you'll pretty have to pull the cover straight back with a little bit of effort because of the magnet's gonna be trying to work against you. Oh, I forgot about that. Luckily, the gasket came off fairly clean. Anytime you take a case cover off or anything with a gasket on it, you generally want to replace the gasket. Now, some guys tell you don't have to save some money, but gaskets aren't that expensive. They're really not. So if you got to take it off, you might as well replace the gasket. No big deal. Otherwise, you might run into a leak. Nobody wants oil leaks. I cracked it all the way through.
Oh, dang.
Alright, so I've already found something about this Woodcraft case cover that I got. Well, not even a case cover, it's a replacement cover. It has a, I guess, puck or guard, skid plate, whatever you want to call it. The problem is, while this is probably replaceable, you're going to have to take the cover off each time you have to replace it. Hopefully it's not something that's required often. It might not be too bad, but yeah, you have to actually mount this with the screws on the inside of it. In the event that this possibly grinds all the way off or snaps off, then you could have these bolts stuck to the magnet, hopefully, and not bouncing around inside the motor. Now you gotta be careful that you don't snatch your fingers. It goes to slide back home. As far as the velocity stacks, we'll have to take the side tank covers off, the top tank cover. I'm going to completely remove the gas tank just to get it out of the way, and then we have to take the top of the air box off to get to the velocity stacks. At that point, it's just 4 screws that hold the velocity stacks in place. Not too complicated. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple.
I heard something rattling.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Uh-oh. Oh, something's smoking. Oh, is that the exhaust?
Yeah.
Why is that smoking though?
I don't know.
Well, what'd you do? So what's going on?
I think we're good. You don't see anything dripping?
Well, what was that rattling noise?
I think the rattle noise might have been a rock bouncing around.
But it's gone now?
Yeah, it's not making it now.
Okay. So, but did it come out?
I don't know, but if it blows up, it blows up at this point.
All right, so we just got done, or Antowan just got done doing what he was gonna do. This is gonna be part 1. I think we're gonna make this 3 parts. If Travis can come over and do the frame thing over here and I can actually record it, then that'll be part 2. Because I feel like that would be a good video. You don't really get to see that kind of stuff too often, you know?
Yep.
By the way, for anybody stumbling across this is Antowan's bike. He's been a part of the channel for a while now, or at least his bike has.
Yeah.
But he's gone through several different upgrades and all that stuff, which I've covered in past videos. So I think I'm gonna make a playlist for his bike specifically. So if you wanna know what else he's done to it, go check out that video or playlist. I'll put it like down here on the end screen.
Somewhere.
Little card. It might be here. I don't know.
At this point, the bike is rideable without the street legal requirements, but it is a rideable rolling
Track bike.
chassis. Yeah, track bike. Foot pegs have been replaced. They're on. They're good to go. Case cover in place. Replaced the hoses. We've run the bike a couple of times. There's nothing leaking.
There was a slight rattle though.
We did have a slight rattle that made me nervous, but
And now it's
after
gone.
holding some things, keeping the tires from moving, I think it might have been a rock from Barber still bouncing around in there. Hopefully, that's all.
And now it's somewhere because it didn't come
it's
out.
not rattling anymore. I'm not gonna worry about it. The bike blows up. At this point, it blows up. Then Josh can do a video of me doing a motor build. Well, not me.
Yeah.
We're going to CMP.
Somebody, yeah.
Drop the motor out of it and get them to build it. Other than that, it's just going to be body work, which hopefully what I have cooking for the custom fairings turns out
gonna be pretty cool.
great. You guys like it. If not, then I'm just going to have a bike that I love and be riding on the
It doesn't
track.
matter. Everybody has their own opinion. It's like 50-50. People like the blue. People hate the blue. You know, it's just.
So it won't be
It
as
don't
blue
matter.
as it is now. It'll still have my favorite color in it.
Yep.
I'm curious to see how it turn out, but that's what's coming next. We're gonna see if my buddy Travis at Jaeger Works can either come to me or if I have to take the bike to him to get the frame welded and straightened.
All right. Yeah. So I think that's it. Unless you got anything else.
No, I think that's it. Still waiting to find out what the next bike will be. I know a lot of you guys that voted was like BMW, I think.
It was that and the ZX-10. I think.
Yeah, I think it was close
Yeah.
between 2020 BMW and 2020 ZX-10, but
Yep.
still got some time. And I forgot to mention, because I hadn't talked to you guys, I hadn't been on camera with Josh since
Because he hasn't had a
Barber.
bike.
Yeah, you know, get excluded from all the fun. Honda is supposedly coming out to swing with the big boys in terms of horsepower.
Yes.
They're supposed to be revamping the Fireblade for 2020.
So that's now in the running.
And it may be in the running, because in all honesty, my first choice for 1000, I'm sure I mentioned this before.
I don't think you did.
Well, my first choice when I originally went shopping for 1000, 2005, I was actually looking at the CBR 1000 at the time. Only reason I didn't go with it is because the 05 Widowmaker ZX-10 was actually a more comfortable fit after riding on it. But my first choice was the CBR. I sat on it, didn't like the seat. Found the ZX-10, sat on it, fell in love with it. I've been riding ZX-10 since.
But I'm sure it'll be a little bit of time before the next video and all that, so we'll probably have different opinions and all that stuff
Are we
as
good?
the videos go.
Sit once they do the reveal and discuss each bike.
Yeah.
If y'all want to see that.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Every time I hang out with
Barber's.
Antowan, it's like, next thing. Would you guys like to see a group of guys sit down and discuss bikes? I feel like it's just like Wingman's Garage.
I mean, in a way it is.
Yeah.
Even though we'll be focused just on technically kind of what I might go with for my next bike, pros and cons type
Yeah.
deal. And if able, maybe we can throw on some shots, go into the dealerships and
That'd be cool.
sitting on them and check
I'm
them out.
down for that, so one comment.
Just one. Just
one
one
comment.
like. Just one like. We'll do it.
Anyway, I'm cutting this off. This is what we do. We start rambling. So that's it for part 1. Part 2 will hopefully be the frame if I'm able to record it. And then if not, you're going to see his bike reveal. It might be a little while, but you
A
know.
little while,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's coming.
Unless I hit the lottery.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be lovely. Later.
Bye.
Airplane.
I know. And that dude squealing his tires over. What is that about? He did it in the driveway.
Surprised the turkeys ain't out here walking around. It's a flock. I'm talking like 8 to 9.
What do they call turkeys? Is that a gaggle? A gaggle of turkeys?
Is it gaggle? I thought gaggle was geese.
Hey Siri, what do you call a bunch of turkeys? She said raffle and a gang. I don't know. Anyway,
Whole gang of turkeys.
gang of turkeys.
You're knocking the bike
Yeah,
over,
no.
man.
Just
No
fixed
problems,
it.
all right? It'd be on the same side anyway, but you know,
Yeah.
can't do no more harm. You gonna say hi to the camera?
Ben, where'd you go? You gonna say hi?
Yeah, hi.
What game is it?
It's called Monster Hunter and fight different kinds. Find the black puppy bear, the white puppy bears, anything you can find on there.
That's cool.
And I figured out! I figured out! Yeah, can I please go outside?
You have to stay where I can see you.